Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I wanted to go over some of the books that I have read from Aardvark Book Club. Aardvark Book Club is very similar to Book of the Month, where each month you have 5 choices and you select one. And Aardvark has been around since I believe October 2022, so it's fairly new, but I have already discovered some great books from this book club. But one of the most exciting things from Aardvark, I recognized that one of the Aardvark authors was coming to a book event near me. So I got to meet the author from one of the December books, Carolyn Prusa, and her book, None of This Would Have Happened If Prince Were Alive, is truly one of my favorite books. I normally don't choose books like this one, but this one found me. I needed this book. It's so good. So let me show you guys a little bit of the book event. It was at the most amazing bookstore, M Judson Booksellers in Greenville, South Carolina, and we had a blast. She could not have been more amazing, so down to earth, so much fun. And so here's a little glimpse. I loved this book so much. I believe mainly one of the reasons is I relate to Ramona. She's the most relatable character for me in a very long time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but she's going through a storm. There's a hurricane coming, but her life is a storm as well, and she is just trudging through, getting through it, and I love her sense of humor. I just love her zest. I love everything about her, and I don't want to give too much away. There's just so many parallels between this book and my life that were so beautifully written. Especially if you're a mom, pick this book up. You will not regret it. I loved it so much. The other Aardvark books that I have been reading twice in a lifetime, and normally I do not choose romance novels. That is not my thing. I thought it was going to be more of a time traveling Back to the Future kind of vibe, but it was more the time travel was via text. The main character, Isla, receives a text from her future husband, and that is how the book begins, and it's kind of, you start reading it and you're like, this is super weird. I don't know where this is going, but stick with it. It is so good. It really tackles a lot of mental health issues, but what I loved about it was the character really grew throughout the book and tried to become a better version of herself. My January Aardvark book choice was All the Dark Places, and this was a mystery, and this begins with Molly's husband Jay. They're celebrating his 40th birthday, have all their friends over for his birthday party. The next morning he is found dead in his office. As the investigation unfolds, we find out more about Molly and her traumatic childhood, but again, I love this book. I highly recommend it. I also just ordered my February Aardvark books. My choices for February are Liar, Dreamer, Thief by Maria Dong, and that is a mystery. And I also chose a contemporary fiction called The Sweet Spot by Amy Papel. And that is what I have been reading from Aardvark. Again, I had a blast meeting Carolyn Prusa, and if you only order one of the books I just told you about, make sure it's this one. I loved it. And that was it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.